Good evening. You're listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I am your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Pinos Palace just west of Orlando, Florida. I have here on the Extreme Studios on the line from the Great Midwest one, RDV. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 after 8. I love that. Some sort of synergy with it. We're going to continue to talk about the synergy of all the stuff that's been starting to piece together here in season 3, episode 6, called
Right.
Bubbles of Tulsa King. Our Tulsa King Tuesday continues here. So, RDV, I watched this episode. I commented after last week that I enjoyed how that one was a bit more serious. I think just for whatever reason, the season's been a bit more adult-like and serious, which I don't mind. There's some things we've speculated on that haven't come true, some that seem to have. I just think with a name like Bubbles and Serenity the Stripper from the earlier episode that, it's kind of leading us down a certain path, but that's certainly not the case here. What's your take on this episode?
When I first saw the name was Bubbles, I didn't even watch the show yet. I watched the episode. I was like, Bubbles? What the heck is Bubbles? It's like,
but
then I love how the show plays out with Bubbles is code for basically we're gonna have a sit down, and because they know that the feds are talking, so he's gonna have a sit down with Silent Ray because Bill's missing, and well, here's the thing. I love how Stallone knows two things. Can't trust the feds. He doesn't know if the feds have bullet check,
True.
or if he has. He's hoping it's not the feds because it's gonna fuck up his organization even more. So he's thinking it's Silent Ray because Silent Ray tried to flip him. So he has a sit down, calls him up. But meanwhile, because they see because the murder and stuff or the death. So basically, they're fucking around with them, but they can't legally distribute because they don't have a license now, or whatever, until further notice. So they said we're going to run a moonshine business, and I'm thinking and I'm thinking, oh, they're going to run a Shreveport. I'm thinking and I'm like, oh, we're going to run into finally into Samuel Jackson.
No. Yeah, you would think they would.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. So we got two groups going out. They got these vehicles they have. One's a Chevy, a Suburban, and the other one is the Monte Carlo. I think that's what it was, right?
I don't recall.
Yeah. But anyway, so we got two side stories going on because we have Mitch and Clea are gonna go drive the car down. They're gonna go down the Shreveport. They're gonna meet a distributor there, and then we also have Bodie and then Grace going together. Going to another place, and along the way, Cole was basically, and I love Robert Patrick. We're talking about how he's like kind of like we didn't have to drink if he was a villain or he's kind of like a weak kind of like. He really comes across a really angry, violent man in this one.
Boy, does he really fucking hate his son? Oh my God! But we find out kind of why.
He's like, of course, my son coming here wearing a camo when his brother is the one that actually died for this country. His brother, because his brother was in the army, so he just yells at Cole and says you mocked your brothers, you're the one who's actually the real soldier, the real. It's like, you want to prove yourself a soldier? It's like, go do what I asked you. By any means, take out Dwight, Manfredi. So he gets these three guys in a group, and they're gonna get a tracker on Manfredi's vehicle. So him and Tyson are driving, and they notice they got. Well, here's the thing, I forgot that the cash flow was going with them, but cash flow is driving a separate vehicle. Smart,
yes,
because when these guys come up behind Manfredi, Manfredi calls cash flow. He's like, "Hey, you see those guys behind?" He's like, "Yeah, I see him." He's like, "Don't worry about it." He's like, they pull up the gas station. He's like, they go, let's go inside. Let's get some refreshments. And I love it's like, they're in there. He's like, hey, you want anything? And it's like, I get something for cash flow or whatever. And we see from the gas station point of view, we see Dwight talking to Tyson, joking around. In the background outside, you see Cashflow just beating up the guys.
He is such a wide motherfucker. Like, he is scary. He is physically the most imposing person on the show. It's not even close.
Reminds me of Vader from WWF.
Oh, Vader was terrifying as a kid.
Yeah, but I was saying that's what it reminds me of. It's just like he just takes them out, and it comes out. Yeah, it's like, are they okay? Yeah, perfectly fine. And I love when Dwight's getting back inside the vehicle. He's like, this guy's laying down on the job and get you that raise. Of course, Cole sees this. He's like, "Oh, really?" So, but he called because meanwhile, we got Mitch and Grace, or no, Mitch and Cleo are in the car, and they get pulled over by a motorcycle cop. And this guy is a shady motherfucker. He looks very pervy. He pulls like, "Hey, what's going on? Let's registration." He's like, "Ma'am, both of you need to step outside the car."
And he is a cop. But here's the thing: that's got to be outside of a woman trying to make 2 or 3 guys get out of a car on her own. The most unprofessional way of doing it, even though you're a dirty fucking cop.
Yeah,
I'm like just going, you got to be fucking kidding me.
So and the way he's leering for here's the thing: this guy was so disgusting.
It was. It's like he was rubbing himself while doing it.
At first, I didn't think it was even with Dunmire. It was even Dunmire messing around with this. I thought he was just a really disgusting cop because you're doing 25 miles per hour over the speed limit. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know," and so he ends up like having outside, handcuffs them back together, and then he's like, "Oh, what's got you got contraband in here and all that stuff," He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You might as well come clean." He's like, and I love how like this Mitch is like, "Yeah, I got some more guns further up in there. Yeah, I might as well come clean." The guy leans in and slams the trunk on him. They grab the keys and then they step on. And I love the scene. They step on the radio and then they pull out the wires on the truck. And then he's like, "Fuck your tire," and stabs it.
Well, finally we get that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a smart move.
I would have loved that they would have handcuffed him and left him by. All you had to do is that just handcuff him by himself and leave him, on the side of the road. I'd go that one step further. I don't even want to get a chance.
Though, I'm telling you, these two just she's such a weak.
Bonnie and Clyde, but
she's so weak.
Well, here's the thing. She's kind of along the way. She just is more than what she's used to, and it's like there's a reason why she left the first time because of all crap like this. She was going into she getting in trouble with the law and stuff, and it was just spiraling out of control. So it seems like we're leading to our breakup with this. Maybe the next couple episodes down, or we don't know.
No, without question.
But so they go deliver to they ends up this just a church in there, and then the guy gives them cash, and so then that's kind of they live with them at the diner, kind of questioning if they're going to leave Manfredi or not, or stay in this business. We'll obviously know Mitch is loyal because Mitch already gave a speech, took off his glasses. He's like, this guy, he's someone. When he walked in my bar, the dive bar, he turned into something much better. And it's just like so you can tell when someone's bullshitting you. I served in the jail time. I know who's lying and who's not. This guy, he just came up someone you can know, you could trust. So Mitch is loyal till death.
You can feel that from Mitch, and I like that angle with it.
Yeah.
The whole goofy, I'm going to sell cars bit and all that just is kind of like, really? That's not the guy that looked smart, serving beers and all that, talking how good he is. What I thought happened here, though, in that scene on a bigger level is you made the comment last week about how Stallone looks like, he's got more on his plate than he ever has before, and that's what happens in every season, right?
Exactly.
And he always figures some way out of it. And regardless of how we think of Tyson and how he handles them, you really feel that with Stallone here, but you really get to see Mitch doing it. So this is that classic case of where other people talk of what somebody else is going through. You go, yeah, it's telling you, pay attention to what's going on with him, because this is the whole story of really the season, how much shit he has to deal with.
Also, I forgot to mention that Dwight came clean to his sister about the feds.
I like that. I feel like he should have done that earlier.
Yeah, and he says, "Don't worry about it." It's like it's a need to know. You don't need to know really much. Like, we're fine. He tells her like, yeah, they got information on to put us away, but don't worry, I got it taken covered. And so basically while Bodie and Grace are driving and stuff, and Bodie and Grace is kind of like, it's like they get a call from Bill checks, basically Jimmy, or guy who killed Jimmy, the one that Bodie hates. He's like, yeah, you seen Bill? He's like, no, I don't. He's like, no, I'd say not. As far as I know, I haven't seen whatsoever. It's like, yeah, and like, and they hang up the call. It's like, I'll let you know, yeah. And Grace is like, what the fuck? And it's like, Dwight told us, like, there was nothing, nothing really happened. It's like, and so they're questioning everything. Well, she's questioning everything. In both vehicles, the woman is questioning things. I noticed that. Grace and Cleo.
I'm shocked.
I know, right? But Bodie says, and here's the thing, I love Bodie's thing, just like Mitch. Bodie says, like, I'm terrified. And I've always been terrified ever since I met Mitch. But here's the thing, I've learned to live with it. He's like, it's kind of sad, isn't that? I've learned to live with fear, dealing with it. I mean, in reality, we all do. We're all afraid of something. It's just that it's an irrational fear, and we rationalize it. It's like the pros outweigh the cons of giving in to the fear. That's called courage.
Well, the other thing too is that I don't think this is that kind of show, but you bring up an interesting concept here, because I thought when you have somebody that does it, it makes you either sink or swim, right? Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
And so I always thought, okay, is his group going to be where some people that are like a Tyson really learn to come into their own in a positive way on society and being a human being, or some people like Bodie that was really, really smart turns out to be a complete fuckhead and ends up being like a bad guy, right? But this isn't that kind of show, and I think we found that out maybe after season 2, where we said, you know what, this team's not going to turn on, even though they could do a lot just with internal strife and leave the Fed bullshit out of it, because the Fed stuff's weak sauce, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, we get to see that Belichick is in lockup where Dwight was.
And if you're not watching, it's there for like a second, and that's it.
Yeah.
That tells you the Feds have them.
The Feds have them, because you see Pollak goes at the door, and like, what the heck is he thinking? Because I obviously he does. The whole thing is, I thought he was to get Dwight to use him, but remember you said he doesn't like Dwight. His whole career was to go after Dwight and stuff. So is he gonna have Bill go after Dwight?
I just don't get that feeling from Bill.
I don't know what's going on with that
Bill
angle.
Seems like he's begrudgingly wanting to like him, but doesn't want
Bill
to.
Came
He
around to
finds
like
himself doing it. That's what's compelling to me.
Yeah, and here's the thing: Bill is going to learn that Dwight lied to him about the Feds. Because he said, "He's like, you think I'm a snitch, a rat?" Because he said, "How did the Feds raid my place?" And he lied to him.
Well, let's talk about what lies are.
Yeah.
There's different kinds. What you're talking about is one where
loyalty has been broken between Dwight and
but
Bill.
It's lying by omission.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to deceive you.
I'm just withholding you everything.
Exactly. So some people feel like, well, you didn't tell me everything. I wanted to know that. Well, you didn't ask. That's legitimate.
The thing is that,
but you're right. How's Bill
did ask.
Feel? He's going to feel like, hey, you were in with the Feds. Whatever's going on, they got an angle into you, and I got raided. Fuck you.
Because he said, how would they know? He's like, are you working with the Feds? And he's like, and he lied. He said, no. You think I'm a snitch? Yeah.
He's not working with them technically.
Yeah, but okay. So anyway, we got the sit down Clary coming up. So they go to the hotel. They go there, and this is where we got the. Bubbles.
This was funny, where they can't be early.
Yes. Yes.
They have to get in at time, so they're both way down other sides of the main area.
Yeah,
look, it's got to be 6 o'clock.
And I love it because they're up there, and and Tyson's up there with them too, and they look down, and you could see the viewpoint of here comes Silent Ray and he looked up Silent Ray, looks up, sees Dwight in there, and he's like, oh, and then he sees the clock, and he's like, and they realize, he looks at time, he's like, man, your clock's slow, it's like, you need to fix your clock. Yeah. But
I thought Silent Ray actually was good in this scene. I wasn't a big fan of him, but you can feel it when they're sitting down talking.
But before the meeting though, Tyson was asking about Silent Ray. It was a deal with him. He's like, well, everyone that crossed him ends up in the concrete. So that's why they call him Silent Ray, because he silently murders you, pretty much makes you silent forever. Yeah, and this guy, so because Tyson asked him, "Aren't you scared?" He's like, "Well, you get a little bit. I mean, I'm more concerned, not scared, but whatever." But they have to sit down, and they had the little booth there. I got the guys or the goons will go around. Like you would see the Godfather. So all was missing was the linguine, so he has pasta or spaghetti. And at the bar, we see Cole walk in. He's got the camo on. He's not dressed for this place, so he stands out right away with a camo shirt and his other buddy. They're gonna put on the hunting mask in there, and of course, Cash will have been paying attention. Notices it right away. Flips the table over. There's a big shootout. How anybody misses Cole and his buddy is beyond me, because you had 4
Harry, or 5 guns. You're a bad shot.
Yeah, I was like, how does he And normally it would have been people dead, other people caught in the crossfire.
But that was weak.
Yeah,
they should have done it differently, because it was very bad.
but they're like-hearted gangsters. They're not bad people. They don't kill people. Just but it's not even the shocker of the thing again because after they both argue back and forth because Silent Ray wants before this he's before the shootout, I want 80% of your operation, and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? 80% of your he's like pretty much Dwight's like, go fuck yourself. It's like and yeah, so when after the shootout, so he tries to call Silent Ray, who's in his car. Silent Ray looks at the phone and then gets his evil ass grin. So I mean, I don't. He's up to. He knows something. He's up to something. You know. But we're gonna. It's not the last we're seeing of Silent Ray, but we get a call from Goody to Dwight, and the feds are raiding the Buck Saloon. You know, the Buckshot Saloon. He's being raided and stuff. And he calls Dwight. He's like, you know, found Armand swinging from a rope in a hotel.
It's one of those things like with Bill, where you get that split-second scene showing him locked up. That what this show does, just like the shootout.
I wonder. Here's my theory though. Before, because Bill's in there, maybe he sent because remember, this guy fucking hates Dwight, so he brought in Belichick and blackmails him, says, you're gonna go kill Armand, and I want you to be my eyes and ears, you know, with what's going on with Dwight, and the way to fuck him over. He's gonna play Bill against him. You know, they're both working for the feds. The feds are playing both against each other.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my theory. I don't know if that's what's really going on, but I was like, Armand just casually shows up dead. And the fact that Belichick is been pulled over to basically the same way, because I thought about it when he got pulled over. That's the same thing that happened to Dwight, but Dwight was in his bedroom though when they pulled up. Same gear, same tactics. So, and this guy had said from the very one he hates Dwight. His whole career was basically was just getting Dwight. You know.
Yeah. Maybe that's one of those things that I always thought was interesting about the shows. We get a new setup every season, which is cool, and they're dropping it weekly, which is a plus. We might meet one or two new characters. We might get a wrinkle or two on them. I was surprised you didn't bring up the Bodie trying to flirt with her in the car.
Oh yeah, and
that was painful to watch on both ends, because it's like she wants it. You know what I'm saying?
So here's another thing too, because remember we said it was unsanctioned. I think as far as the whole thing of Dwight going after the terrorists,
right?
That's a setup. He's going to use Bill. He's setting up Dwight, so he's going to arrest Dwight for conspiring with the terrorists. That's his plan.
I think that's a strong likelihood because this guy's a dick, but they didn't flesh it out well, so I don't care.
Yeah,
not that the guy's doing a bad job acting, right? But it's just convenient. It's too much. It's not really doing anything. It's just there
episode,
to be there.
Like I said, this episode didn't really do much for me though. It told me where Armand is, and it showed you where Bill went to. But I mean, other than that, it's like I don't give a shit about Quiet Ray. I do love the fact that though we got to see Dwight basically making fun of Vincent again. at the sit down, he's like, "What the fuck is he here?" He's like, "Oh, he's like, he's a guy helping me." He's like, "Oh, so we're gonna just hire the handicap now?" Like I said, it was okay episode. I like the previous episode a little bit better, you know. Because this was like I love Mitch, but this is too much Mitch.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. I want to see more of actually Robert Patrick's character, you know, doing some more stuff. We know that the DA is basically really gonna go after them too now. And
going into the last few episodes, they've got to start eliminating some of the stuff that's going on here. Yeah, well, they just got to make it. If you got 10 things going on, they can't all be the same level of importance. So get rid of 3 or 4 of them, right? Those focus is so important. Unfortunately, like you said about Mitch, I don't mind Mitch, but too much Mitch is not good Mitch. You know what I'm saying? And just with the same thing of like his sister, I like his sister now. I like him talking to the feds. but what point does that really serve? I mean, it was supposed to happen, but she's not getting involved in an angle. She's just there.
Yeah.
So that's what these shows do, is they have so many things in them that it's nice to have some filler, but the reality of it is just once it starts building momentum in a certain way, then it completely stops. Like there was something where they could have done, and you mentioned the scene earlier where Cole is there with the whole fatigues, and we find out Cole's brother served in Kerplakistan and died or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
he's wearing a camo like a Hawaiian.
Yeah, you're
shirt.
going to wear the camo. You want to honor that. You can go kill him for me and all that, because basically I've got no use for you, because he just fucking hates him so much.
Yeah,
and it's like, God, I don't. It's.
I'm just waiting for Robert Patrick or to just pull a gun himself and just shoot people.
Well, here's the thing that I don't understand with Robert Patrick's character.
Yeah.
He's come along as so strong. I'm not even going to say evil or is the bad guy. He's the antagonist, right? But that scene alone with Cole explains her whole dynamic and makes Cole's dynamic juicy when he tries to do something good with the chicken. You're like, oh, that's going to be a good angle.
Mm-hmm. And
then it goes away before. Maybe they'll just decide to use it again later. And so at least it's going somewhere. There's some momentum. But here it's just I don't know. It's just, that's my frustration with the show, because it's so enjoyable to watch. And it moves very well, and it's briskly paced. They all bring a different energy. Tyson has his own Tyson energy that we love to hate, right? And let's be honest, he's one of those hate watch kind of guys. You figure Bigfoot might be a bigger part, and he's not. So I don't know. It's just, you got to up the ante, I think, here in a little bit in this next episode. I think you really got to get down to what you. In other words, you went to the dance with a woman. You gotta leave with that. So leave all these women off to the side. You just cut through some of these characters, focus on 2 or 3 of them, and really go deep.
Yep, might as well. Nothing much else to say on this episode. I can think of. I think we covered all the angles as far as all the important things that have happened here. I can't think of anything else. But said overall, this is okay season, not the best. I think the previous season was a little bit better, even though the Cal Thresher was kind of weak. But I love the whole thing with Armand and with the bad triad guy over, Tyson and getting a chance to basically whack the guy and stuff, prove himself.
Well, now that you mention it, I don't recall this. Do we see Cal Thresher in this episode?
No.
So you get one of the more interesting things about Cal, considering, and I agree with you, how disappointed we both were about it last season, right? How it turned out. Now we go, hey, now we got a nice little swerve here where he's running for governor and he's going to get involved and doesn't want to be it.
Danny
and he hates
Delany
dealing with people. So it's a juicy character. They do it last episode, and now you have nothing.
Danny Delany was credited. It's what's weird about Danny Delany was also credited in this too, in this episode, but she wasn't in it. So they must have been name dropped their character or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying this season. It may sound like I'm not, but that's just the way the showrunner does this type of show. And I guess
I think it's
1923, all of them that are all super famous, everybody loves it. And I'm going, at least here we've got a center character that we love with Stallone.
The problem with this show is not really a week by week the way it's designed. It feels more like I watch it with a binge. Watch it in one season, let's go. Because so of course we're a lot of waiting, like, hey, why did they do this? And then sometimes it makes up for it, and sometimes it's just like they never should have done that. That was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I am liking this season.
It's great for conversation, though.
To me, yeah. No, I agree. There's definitely plenty to pick from, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, unlike Lost.
All right, everybody. I want to thank you guys for showing up on Tulsa King Tuesdays, where we finishing up and moving into something else here too. Check out some additional drops we have coming out later this week. Until then, I will see you all next week on Sunday. Good night now.
Yeah, we want to thank everybody who was in the chat tonight. Extreme Movie Show and Extreme Movie Show.
You're welcome. Bubbles looking for serenity. Or serenity in the bubbles. I don't know. As Marco Pierre White would say, go ahead. It's your chance.
Let us know what you thought of this episode and the previous seasons, whatever. Let us know in the comment section below. Helps us with the algorithm. Also, click like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And look out for some stuff on Friday night. We're going to be dropping to 2 Hammer movie release.
Yeah.
We got some Bride of Dracula, and we got the Mummy. Well, the Cursed Mummy, I think it is.
There you go. There's more where that came from.
Peter Cushing, Power Hour.
See you, everybody.
Later, guys.